Jace Thomas Morning Blend. I'm here today with Chris Woolsey, and we're here to talk about chicken soup for the soul. How are you doing today, sir?
Now that I'm talking to you, James, I am doing A-OK.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Let's move right into it. It is Women's Month. It's celebrating women, and you have a movie coming called Quant. Tell us about it.
We do. This is a spectacular film. This is a documentary called Quant, and this is a Chicken Soup for the Soul original. You can't see it anywhere else. And this is a documentary about Mary Quant, who was the designer who created the miniskirt. And you think, wow, that's great, but like really an entire documentary about this. But when you look into it, I got to tell you, I don't care about design at all, and I was riveted. It was so interesting just to see her motivations. She wanted women to be looked at, and she wanted women to feel beautiful. And that was her motivation. And just to see how many societal ramifications came because of this seemingly very simple invention, and when it came kind of right in the heart of the sexual revolution, it just had an extraordinary impact not only on the fashion industry but also society in general.
Definitely. Yeah, I remember when I first saw the miniskirt way back in the 70s. And it was like, okay, that sounds cool to me. That looks good to me. Yeah. And what's interesting is they're wearing them like nothing today. That's what's just amazing to me. Now, speaking of amazing, we got something on season 3 of Funny Girls.
Yes. So this is another one of my personal favorites. I love sketch comedy. It's one of my favorite things to watch, and this hidden gem from New Zealand. It was a smash hit on New Zealand TV, and it's now available on Crackle. We have all 3 seasons, and one of the great things about this is a lot of these performers on this show, these women, it's actually about not only do you get to see these sketches, but it's about a group of women who are trying to start a sketch comedy TV show in a male dominated entertainment industry. And so not only do you get these hilarious sketches that give kind of the female take on things, but then you get the interactions of the performers dealing with these male executives who don't often, if ever, really get the humor. And it is phenomenal. And the other great thing about it is there's all these great names who were kind of not known when this series first was created, and now are really rising stars. So it has Rose Matafeo, who is the lead on Starstruck, has Jackie Van Beek, who's one of the leads on What We Do in the Shadows, which is a spectacular series, and Nick Sampson, who's from the Brokenwood Mysteries. All kinds of great star names in there. You can watch them before they were stars on seasons 1, 2, and 3.
Man, it sounds so cool. Now you got this other movie coming up, this kind of the split. You got this street guy and you have this Christian young lady. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like Ja Rule. And the movie is I'm in love with a church girl. Am I wrong with that?
You are not wrong. That is exactly what we're talking about. And yeah, it's great. It's this sort of fish out of water. This guy thinks he's like the player of all players, and he meets this beautiful godly woman, and decides he's going to give up everything that he thought was important in his life in order to advance this relationship. And then come to find out that there might even be something more important than his relationship with her, and that's his relationship with God. So it's a really interesting film, and it's kind of got a lot of different vibes to it, kind of a rom-com vibe, but then it's got kind of a faith feel to it as well. So there's something for the whole family in that one.
Man, speaking of the whole family, it looks like Captain Marvel, and this is a very young Captain Marvel in here that we're looking at. You got something called Short Term 12. Tell us about that.
Yes. So Short Term 12 is, as you rightly point out, is starring a very young Brie Larson. And it's a phenomenal film. It's about a 20-something staff member at a residential treatment facility, and she's just got it's about her just trying to figure out how to help these people. She's got troubles with her coworkers. She's got trouble trying to help these kids. It's a really, really great film. And Brie Larson, you can see now why she's a huge star, because her performance in this is to say you're going to have to keep the box of Kleenex next to you during this is an understatement. It's really good.
You know, continuing with Women's Month, let's talk about this series. I guess it's a series or a movie, Song One with Anne Hathaway.
Yep. So this is a feature. And another one that this is a little earlier in her career, but this is a great film. Anne Hathaway plays a young woman whose brother is in a horrifying accident and is basically in a coma in the hospital, and she is trying to figure out some way to reach him because the doctors can't, revive him. And so she finds out that he has this favorite singer-songwriter, and she thinks, well, maybe if I can get him to come and play music for my brother, maybe that will snap him out of this. And so she ends up finding this guy, and lo and behold, there's a relationship that spins off. And it's another one you're going to want to keep that the Kleenex next to you, but it's really, really good stuff. But we also have a little something that, a little on the lighter side. We have, everybody, it seems, I thought it was a big deal because I grew up in the era of Princess Diana and the whole wedding, and I know you went through that experience too, and that was like a gigantic deal. But to me, it seems like the royals are even a bigger deal now than they were when you and I were younger. And so we have a documentary series called The Royals, and that is going to follow sort of the history of the royal family. But the cool thing about it is it also gives you access to kind of peek behind the curtain, because they interview all kinds of people who have crazy access to the royal family that you and I will never, ever get, because there's a lot of guards at the front of their house, and they tend not to let people wander around. So this is kind of a fun opportunity for the audience to see truly how the other half lives. And it's a great series. I think people are really going to like it.
Speaking of series, this season 1 and 2, tell us about the American Beauty Star season.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a reality show, consists of 12 competitors, and they are battling to see who is basically going to be the biggest star in the beauty industry. So it's every aspect of it: setting up red carpets, shooting magazine editorials. It's not just the outfits and the makeup and the fashion. It's also the business side of it as well. And it's really good. If people loved, America's Next Top Model or shows like that, this is one that they're really going to like. It's Christy Brinkley is one of the hosts. It's a pretty fantastic series as those beauty series go. I really like this one.
Now let's get away from the glitz and the glamour, and let's get real down and dirty. Let's talk about season 3 of Around the Farm Table.
Yes. So it's a great series. It's hosted. It's kind of funny because you really, when you think of these things, you think of big celebrity hosts, and this one is hosted by Inga Witcher, and she is a 4th generation dairy farmer. And it's great because it gives you a little bit of a glimpse into a world that I don't know about you, but I know pretty much nothing about dairy farming. I don't know anything about any kind of farming, even though I did come from a long line of farming people. So this kind of takes you on a behind the scenes look at what a real working farm looks like. But then she also tells you all kinds of amazing recipes and great ways to take organic foods and entertain company. It's got a lot of different facets to it. She also tells these amazing stories about growing up on a farm and working her own farm. And yeah, it's pretty fabulous stuff. If you like fork to table and or farm to fork series, this is one you're going to want to check out.
Well, you got a movie that's included in this bunch for October with Michael Caine. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so this is called Dear Dictator, and it's super fun. Political turmoil forces a British Caribbean dictator to flee his island nation, and he seeks refuge and he hides with this teenage girl in suburban America who ends up, and he ends up teaching this girl how to start a revolution and overthrow her high school. So it's kind of a bizarre film. It's Michael Caine in a role that you've never seen him before. I think we've seen Michael Caine do a million different things, but a Caribbean dictator is not one of them. And it's super cute. Odeya Rush from Lady Bird is in it, and Katie Holmes, one of my favorite actresses. So it's almost like a Batman reunion between Alfred and Katie Holmes there. But yeah, it's super cute, and that one starts March 16th. That'll be available. But yeah,
Chris, really appreciate talking about Chicken Soup for the Soul. We're going to be right back. Next week, we're going to be talking about Redbox, and then right behind that, Crackle, right?
You got it. Absolutely. James, always a pleasure, man.
All right.
Thanks much.
All right.